please, I am begging you, if you want to attract more craft show customers to your booth, do not make these 5 common display mistakes. When I first started selling at craft shows, I thought, hey, I just bring my stuff, I throw them on a table, and it pretty much sells itself. Right? Turns out that over the past 5 years of selling at craft shows, I have learned that a lot more goes into your display, and yes, it affects your sales. It is actually a pivotal key component of succeeding at craft shows. But don't worry, because in today's video, I'm not only sharing with you the 5 common mistakes that I see beginner vendors making all of the time with their displays, but I'm also going to be sharing the solutions with you so you can start implementing these tips in your craft show displays so you can start making more sales and continue to grow your handmade business. Hey makers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I would love for you to introduce yourself in the comment section down below. My name is Camryn and I've been running a successful handmade boutique for about 5 years. Actually, yesterday I celebrated 5 years in business. I started on Etsy. It was a flop. It was a bit of a fail, but I moved on to selling craft shows later that year in 2019, and that actually turned into my full-time job selling at craft shows alone in 2021 when I graduated college. And now here on YouTube, I create content to help you grow your handmade business selling at craft shows as well. If that interests you, be sure to subscribe down below because I post brand new videos every week, and all of it relates to helping you make more money selling at craft shows so you can do more of what you love in your business. Now, I didn't just put together willy-nilly, like, here's some 5 common mistakes. No, I learned the hard way. Like I said, I've been doing shows for 5 years, and so these mistakes I've either made myself, pretty much all of them I made myself, or I've seen other beginning vendors make these mistakes, and yes, it does affect your sales. You will not be seeing the pro vendors make any of these mistakes, and I guarantee they're doing pretty well in their sales. There's a lot of people that do craft shows full time. Like, this is a legitimate career path. Also, before we get started, if you watch this and you're like, oh, I've been making that mistake, don't stress about it. It's okay. You know now, so we're just gonna fix it. It's all good. You can try the tip that I have for you and you can implement it, but I just want to put out there that if you're making any of these mistakes, it's okay. You've got this. You can control it and you can make these tweaks in your booth, or you can implement these tips if you have your first craft show coming up so you can just avoid these mistakes. Let's dive into them. First mistake is you have a cluttered layout. What does this mean? This means that you made a ton of different items, which is awesome. That's good for you. You got a lot of prepping done, right? You made beanies and headbands and every single size possible, but you also made 5 different types of beanies. Like, you have velvet beanies and you have Addy beanies, and you found this pattern for a bun beanie and it's super cute, and then you found another one that's kind of a variant of that, but it also has like this different type of yarn. Each of those have like a million different colors, and you just, you made a lot. Good for you. You got a lot of prepping, but the mistake wasn't prepping a lot or having options available. I mean, it's better to have less options, but hey, you prepped what you prepped. The mistake is putting it all out your table at once, everything, a lot of stuff, and completely overwhelming your customer. There's a really popular study that concluded that the abundance of choices can actually lead to decision paralysis. What does that mean? If you give your customers too many decisions, they're actually less likely to make a purchase from you. They're gonna feel overwhelmed. They're gonna be like, I don't know what shade of pink. You have 5 shades of pink here. I don't know. And you also have 20 options, and then there's like 20 different sizes, and they're gonna feel overwhelmed. And that is if they even make it to your booth. If it's too overwhelming, they're not even gonna stop. They're like, no, there's too much going on there. I gotta skip this one, right? So yes, you want to have enough options to draw in your customers, but you don't want to have everything out of your table if you have a ton of inventory and completely overwhelm your customer, because that's actually going to really hurt your sales. Within this mistake, another thing that could actually really overwhelm your customer is having too many displays going on. So you may get really excited. You just binged all my YouTube videos and you're like, ooh, like I had this at home. I could use in a display, and oh, I could do this, and I could decorate with all of these things for, maybe you're doing doing a Christmas market and you have a ton of trees that you just decorate your home with, like little mini trees, and you're like, I'm gonna put them all over my booth and decorate, and you get super excited, and then you go there and this happens. If you have way too much decor, people are gonna start thinking you're actually selling the decor, and it leads to a lot of confusion. So you wanna make sure that you're not overwhelming your customers with the amount of product that you are displaying, and actually the displays themselves. This actually happened to me a few years ago when I was selling at one of my fall markets, and I got, those really cute Hobby Lobby signs that you just have to buy because they're so cute, and they're like $5, and they're like, hello fall, and like, happy fall y'all, and all the cute little signs. I don't know, is that just me? When I'm at Hobby Lobby for yard, I get easily distracted by the signs there, but anyways, I had a lot of those, and I was having them out, like just little decor things. So many people asked to buy the signs, and I had to sit there and go, these are for sale, it's just decoration. I got it from Hobby Lobby if you want to go get that, but it's just decoration. I'm not gonna resell Hobby Lobby signs, but hey, I might have been able to mark it up and make a little money, but that's not what I'm doing here, right? So that's just your reminder to not go overboard with the displays. Now, of course, displays are super awesome. We'll get more into it even in this video, but I don't want you to completely overwhelm your customers because they're just not gonna buy from you as much, and I want you to make sales. So that's tip number 1 for you. So what do you want to do to minimize that overwhelm so you actually make more sales at your craft show? You want to make sure that your displays are very clear on what you're selling, and also just really laid out visually appealing. What I like to do is have some of my smaller price point options all together. For example, if I have 30 pink scrunchies, 20 white scrunchies, and 5 blue ones, I just put 5 of the white ones out, and I just put 5 of the pink ones out. What do I do with the rest of them? I just stick them in a bin, put them underneath my table, and as I sell those throughout the show, I just restock on my pegboard as needed. That way I'm not completely overwhelming my customer, which is like, it's a lot all at once, right? Like it's just a lot of options, or it's a lot of product. Just making sure that you're making it feel really inviting and organized. It's really important to draw in customers and make those sales. Another thing you can do is highlight specific products. So maybe your best seller has been the chickens, and so what you want to do is kind of have a whole display that's just the chickens and have a couple of them out. You can even use lighting and display ideas to highlight a specific product, and that will draw in your customer, and it won't completely overwhelm them with like a display that just has like everything you could possibly sell just all at once. Kind of having sections and highlighting different products in different ways is really awesome for drawing in customers and again, making more sales. Mistake number 2 to definitely avoid is the lack of clear pricing or signage, depending on what you choose, right? Like maybe you want to individually price every single one of your items for your show, or maybe you just want to have a sign that has your general pricing on there for your customers to refer to. Now, I actually do have a full series here on YouTube all about tagging and signage and just making sure that your customers can clearly get the idea of what the price is. I will link that playlist for you right here. I have a free tag template, DIY tag template that you can customize and price your products individually. And I also talk about the importance of signage and give you sign ideas. Now, for me, what works for me is I use a sign for anything under $5. And so I just have a sign that lets them know how much they are. And then I individually price everything else. But no matter what system you use, whether using tags or using signs or a little bit of both, you want to make sure it is clear what you're charging. When I do craft shows, I usually have all of my $5 items on my pegboard, and I have a sign up there that says $5 each or buy 3, get 1 free. That's a deal that I like to offer at my shows. And I've noticed when I don't have the pegboard, I tend not to put the sign up with whatever products are laying there, and I just don't price my scrunchies or keychains, and they lay there at my show. It actually happened at my last show where I had scrunchies and keychains just in a little basket, and I had no price there. I barely sold any of them, and I feel like it was because people picked them up and were curious, and sometimes I let them know like, oh, those are $5, but I kind of felt awkward saying that because I didn't want to pressure them into buying if they didn't want it, and then they felt awkward. Some of them did ask, but it was almost like an awkward, like, how much are these? Because they didn't want to feel like, wait, what if it's more than I expected and I don't want to buy it? It's just like an awkward thing. So what I'm gonna do for next time is just create a smaller sign that says $5 each. So when I don't do my whole pegboard display, at least I have a little small sign next to them that says how much they are. So they have an idea and they don't have to ask, or I don't have to tell them, and they're gonna just feel like it's more of their decision making the purchase rather than me being like, hey, those are $5, buy 3, get 1 free. You know, I never like that, but I'm always scared to be perceived as that. So anyways, so obviously, you know, what not to do is to not price things or let your customers know how much they're going to be spending. The thing that you want to do is price everything, no matter what you choose to do, whether that is with signs or individually tagging, or maybe you're like me and you want to do a little bit of both. That's perfectly fine, but just make sure that your customers know how much they're going to spend, or you're not going to make as many sales. So it's really important. I know it's a little bit of extra work, but it's worth it because you're going to make more sales if you just clearly price all of your products. And again, if you want to dive deeper, make your own tag templates and learn more about what's going to work for you in your business, I will link that playlist for you down below so you can go watch that next. Mistake number 3 that I see all of the time. You might already know this, but I do have a background in graphic design, so this one just bugs me like the most, but it's because I have the background, okay? It is inconsistent branding. Oh, but it's not consistent. It's just, it doesn't look professional. And you might be like, I'm not a professional graphic designer, and I totally get it. Like, I totally get it. If I didn't go to school for this, I probably would be like, whatever. Like, I'm just gonna have branding that has some colors like this. Like, for example, maybe I'll have a business card that's floral and pink, and then my tag template is kind of more modern with just like black and a script on it. But what happens is your customer, even if they don't know much about graphic design either, they pick up on the feel of that, the inconsistency, and actually feels less professional, and they're gonna be less likely to buy. We learned a lot about this in design school because that is why there's a purpose for graphic designers. Designing a brand that attracts your ideal customer, that builds trust with your customers, leading to more sales. So let's just, for example, say that my friend Sue over here wants to do a craft show, and she designed a banner on Canva using black and white, and it's very modern, it's very sleek, it's a cool brand, you know. But then she's over here and she also designed some business cards, and they have little flowers all over them, and they're pink and they're bright and they're colorful. And then she also wanted to do a tag template, but you know, she was feeling extra inspired, and she just did hot pink templates. And she also did like very, very, very vibrant colors on the tag template. And she decided to use a script font, and she decided to use, you know, a sans serif and a serif, and you don't know what those are. It's just all these different types of typography, right? It's like just different types of type. And what happens is you might not realize it, but you're overwhelming your customer. Your customer probably isn't even realizing that it's your branding that's kind of giving them like the I don't really know what's going on here, but it adds to confusion, and they don't trust you as much. A professional, cohesive brand builds so much trust with your customer. I cannot emphasize this enough. A clear brand. It does not have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be designed by a professional graphic designer, but it is important to stay consistent. So if you choose, 2 to 3 colors or 2 to 3 different fonts that you want to use in your brand that kind of go with your ideal customer, the products you sell, kind of look into all that. You want to stick to that over all of the branding in your craft show. That's your banner. That's gonna come down to the displays that you have and the colors that you want to incorporate, right? Like even with my stuff, I have a lot of natural tones in there, but I also use a lot of pink because that's one of my brand colors. Okay, so we have a friend over here who just has everything going on. Like she's got like everything all over the place. Imagine walking into a booth like that and you're as a customer, you're just going, what? Like, what is happening here, right? And feel that overwhelm. But imagine walking into a booth that is completely branded. And we all know it, right? We all can recognize just a really good brand that is all the colors are the same. It's cohesive. You feel like, oh, this all makes sense together, right? You get that business card, and when you look at that business card, it just brings you back to that booth because that business card is branded and it fits with that person's brand identity and that business. And so you connect with it, right? Like you get this hot pink business card over here and you're like, I literally don't remember what this booth looked like. I remember feeling stressed out there, right? But if you, on the other end, it's all branded, it actually helps your customers remember you. And this is super important. Now, I know we're not talking about social media right now, but if you do have social media accounts set up for your business as well, that brand should spill over to all of the things you do in your business, your website and your social media. That way, when they grab your business card, it's all branded, it fits you. They're like, yes, I remember how I felt there. It was professional. I love this girl. Oh, look how cute her business card is. I'm gonna go follow her on Instagram. They go follow you and they're like, oh, it's just like that feeling I had in her booth. It's just her Instagram page. It's all branded and I just love it. And I know why I'm here, right? Like they feel that connection to it and not this complete overwhelm. They click on your profile and they're like, wait, why is this a different vibe over here? Like, what's going on? Why is it kind of, it's just different, right? So that is super important. I think that's something that we don't think of very often. I mean, I think of it all the time, but again, it's because I have that background. This is super, super important. Ideally, your brand should be very recognizable for people as well. So when you're doing more craft shows in the future, they should be able to spot your booth and be like, hey, I've seen her in other shows. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I'm gonna go say hi to her again. And that's just something that's really important for you if you want to grow your handmade business selling at craft shows. So you may be like, okay, Camryn, I get it. You have this graphic design background, you're a nerd about it, you know, like you obviously say this is super important, but what about me? I'm a busy business owner, I have a lot going on, and I don't have time to do all of my own branding, and I don't have time or money to hire somebody out right now. I'm just starting my business. Like, what do you want me to do, right? I totally suggest going on Canva and checking out creating some sort of brand where you pick, 3 to 4 colors. You want to pick maybe 2 to 3 fonts that you want to use in your brand and try giving that a go. A great place to start is social media because you can kind of get a feel for it. You don't have to invest in business cards right away. But ideally, like I said, we want that brand to flow over everything we do in our business so it's consistent over our social media, our website, our craft shows. But if you want to get started on social media shelf life of Instagram posts is like 24 hours and then it just goes back in your feed and you can just kind of try playing around with some different combos there. Once you find something that you love, you can start investing in business cards or upgrading a banner you already have and things like that. It doesn't have to happen overnight, but if you can slowly kind of trickle in a bit more of a consistent brand, this is really gonna help attract customers, build trust, make more sales, and actually get more returning customers to your shows as well. Also, comment down below if you want any more branding tips here on YouTube. I know I have this background in it and it is very important when you sell at craft shows. So if that interests you, just comment down below and let me know and I can definitely make more videos or tutorials on how you can create your own brand and just have that consistency over all of your platforms so you can build trust and make more sales with your customers. So go ahead and comment down below if that interests you. Mistake number 4, do not do this. Do not do this. I used to make this mistake all of the time, laying everything flat. Like I mentioned before, when I thought I was gonna sell at a craft show, I thought, okay, I'm just gonna get my table, put product on there, good to go, stuff's gonna sell itself, whatever. And yeah, stuff sells, people will still buy it, but when you start incorporating vertical displays at your shows, you are going to see a huge difference in the amount of people that actually approach you and want to shop at your booth. You know, the people that just walk on by, they're gonna get sucked in, and then you're gonna make way more sales. Okay, so I really want to emphasize this point that vertical displays are the way to go. Like, do not lay things flat. Do I lay things flat sometimes? Yes. Like, some products do get laid flat on my table. That's just kind of how it works. But for the most part, I am always thinking, how can I add vertical interest to my craft show display so I can, 1, attract more customers, and 2, lead to more sales and just be able to get my work seen. That's why I'm at the craft show. I'm not there to like lay myself flat and like hide behind my table and be like, okay, if people buy, they buy, and if they don't, it's fine, and I'm just gonna go home. No, like I'm there, I put in all this work. I want to try to give myself the best chance possible to make as many sales as possible. So vertical displays are a super great way to do this. You know, when you're shopping at the grocery store and you got aisles, right? And you got shelves, and there's things on the bottom shelf and there's things at eye level. The things at eye level get bought so much more. So that's just another example of that vertical interest. Like, people aren't shopping around at grocery stores like this. Like, oh yeah, like the cans of soups are on the floor, you know? We're like just on a table, like sitting everything flat on a table. No, there's shelves. Like people can see everything. And little fun fact, brands that you see that are eye level actually pay more to have their products placed there because it sells so much better. Now, you're in control at your craft shows, so you literally get to place things at eye level and add that vertical interest to your shows and make more sales. Like you don't even have to pay extra for that. You just get to do it, you know? So definitely recommend doing that. I do have some display ideas for you in past market vlogs and just incorporating different things that you may already have at home. So I will link some of those videos that I have for you down below if you need to get some more inspiration. Some of my favorite displays that add vertical interest are my crate displays that I stack on top of each other. I love my pegboard for drawing customers in. And I also love doing even just free things like hanging things from my canopy. Like I used to sell scarves, so I would actually hang those from my canopy. And that's a super easy, free way to draw in more customers because they can actually visualize the thing instead of it all being laid flat on your table. Mistake number 5 is poor lighting. And this is something that I don't talk about enough. I feel like other vendors don't talk about enough, but oh man, I had this issue the other day, actually at my last craft show of 2023, where I went to go set up my booth and it was pretty dark in there. It was an inside booth, and of course it gets dark so early around here in winter. It's like 4 o'clock, it's already pitch black. So we were getting no natural light from outside, and the lighting in there was so dim. You could barely even like differentiate some of my colors in my shop, right? And so that definitely will affect your sales because your customers want to be able to see what it is you have to offer, and they want to visualize themselves wearing it. And if they can't even see the colors right, they're like, wait, what color is this? It's just, you're not gonna make as many sales, right? Of course, I didn't know this before the event. The event still did end up going well, but it was so funny. So me and this other gal, we were kind of in more the darker area, and there was these lights hanging from these beams across the room, and so we were jumping up there and trying to twist the light so that it was hitting our booth, and it was a little bit of a disaster because then it was almost like too harsh. And you know, if I'm ever at that venue again, I will definitely remember to bring extra lights with me, and that way my products can actually be seen and it definitely will lead to more sales. Now, if you're outside and during the day, you really don't have to worry about lighting, which is super awesome. It's a big reason I really do like the outdoor shows. Definitely more Instagram worthy pictures as well if you want to take some quick snapshots of your products and yourself and post them on the gram. By the way, if we're not friends on Instagram yet, we should be friends. I'm active over there every single day, and I love chatting with you and hearing about your upcoming shows. So definitely let's be friends over there if we're not already. But anyways, that's another huge reason. That's kind of a petty reason why I like the outdoor shows, but hey, you know, good Instagram lighting is a good quality of a show, right? But I will say I have done some night shows that, I don't know, it's like a show that starts in the day, but it goes into the night, and I have forgot or just didn't consider that I would need lights, and it's just pitch black, and it's not a fun time. I did have a light up sign, so that's really fun. My sign that I have, Camryn's Cute Creations, is a little chalkboard sign. It does light up, so that's always kind of fun to have at night shows. But if you don't have lights to actually show your work, your sales are gonna hurt. Your sales are really gonna hurt. So that's something that you should consider before your next show, and just make sure that the lighting there is okay. And you can always ask the vendor coordinator as well, hey, like, could you send a quick picture of what the room looks like? Or do you have a picture of what the room looks like? Or do you have an idea of what the lighting is? I just want to know if I need to bring my extra lighting. But honestly, you could just bring it anyways. And if you need it, you need it. And if you don't, it's all good. You just have it there just in case. I rave about my power bank that I bring to every single show because my phone is always dying. I don't know about you, but my phone is always dying. And so it's really nice to have for charging my phone, charging my card reader at these really long shows. But you can also plug in your lighting. So if there isn't an outlet, or you're at an outdoor show, or there's not an outlet near you, you can literally plug in your lighting. It's just an outlet on the actual charging block. It is amazing. So definitely look into investing in one of those if you're going to be needing lights at your shows and you worry about there being an outlet close by. Now, at a lot of shows, you actually have the option to upgrade to a booth that does have an outlet for an additional cost. But hey, if it's a lot more, or if you're just not sure if you're gonna need it or not, the block is definitely a great backup to have, and it will just help you light up your booth a little bit more so people can actually see your products and you can make some more sales at your show. If you liked this video, I know you're gonna love this video right here because I'm sharing some more mistakes in this video. 5 mistakes that I really don't want you to make at your vendor booth because they are gonna keep you from getting invited back to future shows. They're gonna hurt your sales. So if you're just getting started at craft shows, or maybe you've been doing craft shows and you wanna learn how to make more money, go ahead and check out this video next so that you learn the things not to do and the things to do instead at your shows so that you can succeed doing craft shows as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope today's video was super helpful. If you like this video, if you could do me a quick favor and hit the like button down below, I would really appreciate that. And I will see you, my friend, in this video right here. Bye!